Hey, this is JJ Hairston, and you're hanging out with GrownFolksMusic.com.
GrownFolksMusic.com.
JJ Hairston, welcome to grownfolksmusic.com. So the new project, fresh for 2021,
Yes,
January 1,
yes.
2021, not holding back. So we're coming in strong in the new year for Jesus. Talk about the new project.
We're so excited about our new project, Not Holding Back. I can safely say it's the first project of the year because I haven't heard about anybody else releasing a record. And we're excited because the theme behind the record is not holding back, and it's not only holding back our worship, not holding back our praise, but not holding back anything. We're going all in with our energy, with our gifts and our talents. I think 2020 has made a lot of people reserved and nervous about putting everything out because they're feeling like, if I go all in, you never know what the next month is going to hold. But for us, we're going all in, and we just believe God is going to take our gifts and our talents and take them to the next place. And he's going to use our creativity to bless people all over the world. So we're not holding back our worship, our praise, or our energy.
You said on Instagram it's not just an album, it's a mentality. What do you mean by that?
Well, because it's if it was just music, it would just be like, a few songs, but it's really a thought process behind being all in about not reserving anything. I mean, of course, we save money, we save time, but we don't save our energy. If we're gonna go after anything, go after it with all your effort, all of your might, and just put it all out there and see what happens in the end.
Worship music is always set out to exalt God, of course, but also to encourage the listener. How does the time we're in, a pandemic and the things that are going on socially, how does that inform this album and this music even more?
Well, I think that the power of music as a whole is just it brings life, it brings positive energy, and that's why we believe that worship music not only brings you life and energy, but it points you to God. And God is the only one that can hold you up in a season like this.
Mm.
You figure people have lost their lives this year, they've lost loved ones this year, they've lost money, they've lost jobs. So much loss has happened in one year that we need to point people to the source of provision, and He's
Mm.
God. So that's why we want to tell everybody how great He is and how He's able to do everything you need Him to do. And hopefully, people would take their mind off their circumstances and their issues and put their mind on the one who's able to solve all those issues.
Talk about the go-go infused first track, Lord of All, how that come together.
Well, I'm so excited about that song. When we first moved to the DMV, we didn't realize how much go-go music is a staple
Mhm.
for this area, especially in Washington, D.C. And to be honest, I joined the Recording Academy DC chapter. And that's what really let me know that go-go music is a staple here. So if I wanted to be able to engage the culture of this area, I needed to embrace something that's important to the culture, which is
Mm.
go-go music. So I got together with a band from DC called, the Community of Hope in Church. But when they're out in the street, they call themselves Black Alley. They're super dope. So I wanted to get with a real go-go band and record a real go-go song. I mean, in gospel, we've had go-go music, but not infused with real go-go musicians. So we're excited about this song, and I believe it's really reaching people in a different way.
How did Travis Green and Kiera Sheard get involved with your album?
They're my friends. Travis, he and I have been friends for quite a few years now. And every time it's time for me to record, he say, "Jay, I got something for you." And there's no way you turn down a Travis Green song. And he told me when I heard it, I'm like, this is really a lot for me. It's like, it was different than what I would normally do. But because we've been friends, he said, "Jay, it's time for you to stretch to a
Mm.
different type." So he wanted to give me a song that would stretch me a little bit. But of course, we brought it back to where we are. So it's like a great infusion of what he does and what we do. So I love that. And Kiera, what happened with that was she performed a song "Miracle Worker" with us on the Stellar Awards, and it was like really crazy. So we decided to record the performance and release it on the record. So we're really excited that's going to be on the record this year.
Speaking of how it started and how it's going, you are coming up on your 30th year, is that correct? In doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we started in wow. We started recording gospel music in 1999, but we started singing when we were like teenagers.
Mhm.
So it's coming up on wow, that you just reminded me of that. That's 30 years. Wow. And you know, it's so funny. As much as it's changed, as much as gospel music has changed, it's really transformed into something that we can be proud of. I know it's funny when you listen to music, everybody always thinks that the music they came up with was better. It's like, you
Mhm.
know, it's not like it was back in the 90s. It was
Mhm.
not like it was back in the 80s. What I realize is because music is so special to us, we claim our season, we claim our generation of
Mhm.
music. So what I've been had the advantage of doing is claiming several generations of music, several seasons. So I really feel blessed to be a part of the 80s, the 90s, and now the 2000s. So
Mm.
hopefully we'll continue to release music throughout the generations.
Tell us about the label you've started.
Jamestown Music, so proud of it. When we first started recording, it was really difficult to get someone to pick us up. I share with a lot of people that we were teenagers singing like Thomas Whitfield and old style songs. So people were saying that we were too young to sing with the more aged labels, but we had too old of a look and too old of a sound to be signed as a teen choir. So we weren't able to get anyone to pick us up. Then a record label or a website called gospelflavor.com at the time, they formed a record label for us called Evidence Gospel, and they were distributed through E1. Well, here we are 20 years later. I now have an imprint called Jamestown Music, which is distributed through E1. So it's like full circle.
Mhm.
The way we started, now I have the opportunity to give others that same start. And that's the one thing I'm very proud of.
Talk about that a little bit when you were saying that labels didn't know how to market you. I think that sometimes listeners of music, you usually think of that in terms of secular music, right? And image marketing, that it's a business, even gospel music, and they
Right.
do want to look, a sound, there's a process behind it, right? And I don't think a lot of people think of that when they think of gospel music. Just think, oh, I'm singing for Jesus and they're going to put it out. No, that's not so. There is a little bit of politics behind what singles are released and the presentation of even gospel artists.
It you said a little bit. It's actually a lot. It's a lot. And it's not. Maybe politics is not the right word that I would say. Maybe it's more like it's more of a process
Mhm.
that people aren't aware of, like how long the song is. Who do you expect it to appeal to? And now even it's funny. Over this year, we've seen a lot of racial tension. Well, now we have racial divides in gospel music
Mm.
because there's gospel music and there's CCM
There's
music.
contemporary Christian,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's hard to cross
Mm.
because they love our style, but they don't necessarily embrace it on radio. So
Mm.
it's trying to find that balance of reaching different audiences while staying integral for your sound. And you think about how labels have to market that because they need to release you, but they also need to do what makes sense for them to make money and for them to stay profitable. So it's a dance that we all have to dance, whether it's gospel, whether it's secular, whether it's rap, whatever it is. Businesses, record labels are in business to make money. As much as they love to minister, they have
Mhm.
to make money too, so they have to be wise in how they spend money and who they'll market.
Has there ever been a song that you wanted to bring and could not add to a project?
Well, not necessarily add to a project, but there's been several songs that I knew were strong at church, but radio wouldn't embrace them. They
Mm.
said that's a church song, and it's funny. You would think, well, it's a church song. That means you would love it because
Right.
you're a gospel radio station, but that's not necessarily the case
Mm.
because a lot of gospel radio stations are looking to stay more inspirational than they
Mhm.
are truly gospel because they realize the way they make the money is through advertisement. So the way advertisement works is they need to have as many listeners as possible. So they want people who aren't necessarily church people, but they're cool with listening to inspirational music to tune into those stations. So they want to keep the music a little bit more middle of the road than we normally are. And unfortunately, we have to kind of abide by those rules if we want our music played. But what we do is on the same vein, we release that music now through social media and in church, and you still kind of get the best of both worlds.
So let's talk about the virtual concert that you're going to be doing for the project, and how hard or easy was that, or is it now a new realm that you're going to embrace in terms of how you present?
Well, it's funny. When I first said, when the management team said, "Hey, let's do a virtual concert," I'm like, I have the whole recording. We have all these videos. But initially I was kind of against it, but I said, wait a minute, now we have the opportunity to create a whole different experience based on the songs that we've recorded. We've been able to live with them. We've been able to let them minister to us. And when we express them, when we sing them, we'll be able to express them with a new and refreshed understanding of what those songs are saying. And not only that, we can also mix in some of the songs that people know of us and that they love. So it's not only the new music, but it's a mixture of what's new and old. So we get to put a medley together of the songs that people love and then introduce them to what's new. So I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be a great time.
What's your definition of grown folks music?
My definition of grown folks music is any type of music that makes you understand where you are now. As much as um, we love the music of today, when you're really grown, you appreciate the music that helped you grow up. So again, like I said, that music that ministered to you or helped you in certain seasons was a part of your growth. So any music that's a part of your growth, I consider to be grown folks music. Of course, you hear songs every now and then that don't mean much to you, but the songs that are significant for your season, I think that's grown folks music.
This is the part of the interview where we call shout it out, and what that means is that you get to tell us all things about JJ Hairston and Youthful Praise, specifically the upcoming project, the virtual concert, all of your social media handles, your website, all things JJ Hairston, and where we can see you and reach you.
Cool. Okay. So first of all, I want to say thank you all for embracing our music. My name is JJ Hairston. We're Youth for Praise, and we have a website, jjhairston.com. Our Instagram page is at JJ Hairston. Our Facebook page is Youthful Praise. Our Twitter handle is JJ_Hairston. My fake TikTok, because I'm trying to do stuff, it's not really working, is at JJ Hairston. Our new record, Not Holding Back, drops on January 1st, 2021. So when the ball drops, our music drops. So please download that. Our virtual concert is on January 5th. It's gonna be an awesome time. You can go to my Instagram page in the bio line, and you can buy your tickets. We'd love you to experience this with us. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be refreshing, and it's gonna be full of worship, but upbeat music as well. So we're excited about it, and we want you to be a part of it.
Amen. JJ Hairston, grownfolksmusic.com. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time today. Best of everything.
grownfolksmusic.com